guys, for today's video I'm going to be doing a book review, like an actual book. I'm a little bit nervous. I've never done a book review before, and sometimes my brain has difficulty communicating with my mouth about what I actually want to say. So I'm not quite sure how well this is going to go. If it goes well, I may do a few of these because I read an awful lot. Like, I was going to start with it, this video was going to be what books I've already read this year, and I think there's about 5 so far this year. But I thought that might be trying a bit too much, running before I can walk kind of thing. So I thought I'd just start off with one book that I've read this year and review that. And if it goes okay, then I will maybe do what books I've read this year and do a whole big mass book review in one video. It may be a complete disaster, and I might just say I'm not doing this again. I mentioned this in a vlog, which I'm not quite sure when it went up, to be honest, but I mentioned in a vlog that I was thinking about doing a full review on this book because I absolutely love it, and I'd forgotten how much I love it. And it's one book I think that I have read over and over and over. I don't even know how many times I've read it now. I'm going to try this. I haven't got my glasses on. I am going to read you the back. Is it a blurb? There's a blurb on the back. I haven't got my glasses, so it might be a bit of this going on. But anyway, today's video is going to be a book review on this book. This is A Life in Pieces. My brain's already not communicating properly. I'm not going to say the author because I can't pronounce that, but this is what it is. I'm not quite sure what this originally or currently looks like because this is a proof copy that I got when I worked in Borders. Now, proof copies are books that get sent into bookstores before they actually get officially published and officially released, so people that work in the bookstore can review them and then write little reviews around their store and say what it's about. So that's what this is. This is an uncorrected proof copy. It doesn't have a barcode or a price or anything like that. So I don't know what the front looks like. I don't know how different this is compared to the finished one. I don't know, what does it say? This is an uncorrected book proof made available in confidence to selected persons for specific review purposes and is not for sale or other distribution. So that's what that is. I used to get a lot of these. I actually have another one right here, which is another proof copy. And this one. Oh, it is. This one's a proof copy too. I used to get lots of free books working in Borders. I loved my job there. It was amazing. Anyway, this book is not like any other book I've ever read before. It is a factual, non-fiction book. I had to think then, I was going to say fiction. It's not. It's a non-fiction, not biographical, I suppose, but it's really peculiar. The way that it's written really throws me every single time I start reading it. Once I get past it, I'm like, oh, I don't know why this bothered me in the first place. This book is the harrowing true story of a woman with multiple personality disorder. So it is a psychological book. If you're not into psychological things, then switch off this video. Maybe I'll come back another time with a different one that you might like, but this is very psychological about mental illness. It is amazing. Let's see what it says. She loses parts of her day finding herself in places she doesn't remember going to or being told about conversations she doesn't remember having. Eventually, the psychiatrist realises that he's dealing with a severe case of multiple personality disorder. 17 distinct personalities have been living inside Karen since she was a young child, shielding her from an otherwise unbearable life of childhood abuse. That's what it says on the back. Managed to get through that without my glasses. Would have been like this. It is exactly that. It is about a woman that goes to see a psychiatrist saying that she is depressed, and over time and years of working with her, the psychiatrist finally is able to diagnose that she has multiple personality disorder. I think now it is dissociative identity disorder. People don't call it MPD anymore, it's DID, it's the same thing, just different terms. What are you doing, Days? It's amazing. It is not written by her, which is what you would expect from this type of book. It is actually written from the psychiatrist, which is why it's really hard to get your head around for the first couple of chapters. It's really difficult that it's not coming from her and it's coming from him and what he observes and what he deduces and what he sees, and it's very difficult to get your head into that sort of space if it's from his point and not her point. But he does such a good job of being able to explain what's going on in her mind that it almost feels like it already is her that's talking about it, and specifically her different personalities. They all have different sections in the book and they all have different parts to play in it. So they quite often write letters and communicate that way. So even though it's not from her point of view, there are pages and pages written by different parts of her personality where she explains thoughts and feelings and things that happened, and it is so interesting. It is awful. It is a horrible book, as it says in the back, that all of these altars were created for different parts of the childhood abuse that she suffered through. I read quite a lot of what me and my mother call them doom and gloom books. It's just what we call them. I read a lot of them type of books, like child abuse and stuff like that, just because me and my mum are weird that way. But this is like nothing I have ever read before. There is ritualistic abuse, which I think is, from what I can gather when I've done like research on like MPD, a lot of multiple personalities stem from ritual abuse, which it's a bit strange really, but the things that she suffered through, it's like I don't blame her for having 17 multiple personalities. But it's the way that things are built and the way that things are explained. There's a couple of chapters where it explains where each identity or alter, as they're called in this book, are born, so created. And it's like, they say that there is no original one person, like that original person, she's had alters since she was a baby, apparently. They said, like, the psychiatrist says he's not sure if that's true, but that's how she remembers it and how her alters remember it. So there is not one original person. All of these 17 people create this person. And explaining how they were created, so there are certain ones that are created to deal with pain, but then when the pain becomes too much, then she created this other one that could take more pain. But none of the alters know any of this stuff, so there's one alter that has never been abused. She has no idea. She was created to be the person that can smile and say, I'm fine, what do you mean, nothing's going on? And she wholeheartedly 100% believes that she is fine. Nothing ever happened to her. She had a happy childhood. And then you've got all these other alters that are like, no, actually this and this and this happened to us. And it's just the way that it is written and the way that it's explained and described. I love it. I love things like this. I love psychological things like psychology, and I love learning about mental illness. It's like sort of like a hobby and a passion. It's a weird thing to have a hobby of, but I find it so interesting. I'm reading how they all start being able to share time. So one alter is out, but the other ones are sitting in the back of a brain watching what's happening, and they all share stories, and they all live in a house inside a brain, and some can't go in this side but some can go in that side, and it's all really a bit peculiar. So interesting. I cannot put it down. Whenever I read it, I'm just like, I'm reading, leave me alone. I'm obviously not going to say too much because I don't want to, like, oh, I ripped it. Oh, got a bit overexcited there. I don't want to explain too much in case it's a book that you want to read, and also a lot of the stuff I wouldn't feel comfortable talking about on the internet. But like this here, ooh, let's see if I can focus on it. This here is the little house. Which way? That way. There we go. This is the little house that lives inside her brain. I know I'm out of focus. Somewhere there is a picture of all of the people that live inside of her. Ooh. And when she talks about these type of things, like pictures and letters all the time, and there's like voice recordings, she has no idea. Like, she doesn't remember doing it at all. She has no idea that this is what they look like, that this is the things they say. There's pages and pages of things like this, like letters from all the different altars, and it is amazing to read about what the human mind is capable of, because I just could never imagine living that way. Never mind going through what she went through, there's no wonder she split her personality. But the fact that the human mind is capable of doing that as a protection so you can continue to live, it's an incredible thing to read about. And as I said, because it is written from the psychiatrist's point of view, it is a lot more technical and has a lot of technical terms in it and explanations of why and how and what and when, and it's very interestingly written. I think if she had written it herself it would be interesting, but obviously she doesn't know these altars exist for a long time. I think it's a few, how long is it? It's not until page 90 in this, so you have to read through all of this before you even discover that she has multiple personalities. So she had no idea, so there would no point in her writing the book. So reading it from his point of view, it's just so clever. It's a really good book. If I can find a link to it on Amazon, I will leave it down in the description bar. But I'm going to leave it there for today because I'm not quite sure how well this has gone. Let me know down in the comments if this went good or bad. I'm really not sure. As you can see, I have a lot more books that I can review. I think I've read most of these. So if this is maybe something that actually went okay and that I should do again, make sure to let me know by thumbsing up or commenting on Twitter, or all the links are down in the description bar. I'm not sure. I hope it went well. I feel like it went quite well. I'm gonna go. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you thumbs up and that you subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.